That seemed epic.
Hi, everyone. It's way more epic, wasn't it?
That seemed epic. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Thank you guys for being here. We have to say, and a huge congratulations to, let me make sure. Oh my gosh, where did it go? Where did it go? Was it Josh? I know it's Josh Zero. Maybe it's not in this chat anymore for some reason.
Oh, what was Josh? Is Josh celebrating something?
Yeah. Well, I know.
Whatever it was, congrats.
It's a 23. I think it's their 23rd anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
So congratulations to you and Mrs. Zero. I hope you guys have a wonderful, I think they're going on an anniversary weekend. Let me see if I can find it because I saw it over here on the Twitch chat.
Here's a celebratory phaser beam.
Oh, 45 minutes, leaving in 45 minutes for an anniversary weekend. Oh, shoosh. Oh, that's so fun. Well,
great question, Slab. 23 in a row?
Right? Consecutively?
Important questions.
Yeah. How long have you been in a relationship is an interesting question because you're like, well, which ones?
It can be.
Can I combine them all together into like...
And especially if you have like rekindlings and like stuff that's on and off, that can be hard to pin down. I did realize, Josh, you actually prefer the original series. So here's a torpedo instead.
Yeah, Ian.
It's not done yet.
Ian has been playing around with.
Not done yet. There's a bit of echo. Okay, it's done now. It's done. Yes, I have buttons.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. And thanks guys for joining us for the Captain's Pod live show. We are going to be recording the next episode of the Captain's Pod podcast together and hanging out. Sometimes we get new people coming in, so feel free to ask questions. But here in just a minute, we're actually going to record the live part of our show, and we stop talking to the chat during that section. Mostly. But the chat just keeps rolling, and we have chatters that are on YouTube and Twitch. There's 2 different Twitch channels that we simulcast to. My personal one at Danae Says, but the main one is at CinemaSins Live Twitch on the Twitch side of things. And then, I mean, rivaling in popularity is the YouTube side of things, where you can go to CinemaSins Podcast Network channel, where you can see all the different shows that the staff of CinemaSins puts together in our love of podcasting. And so there's people that are also watching from there. Ian and I can see comments from all the different places, all coming into one centralized location. Yeah, but you guys can only see the chatters that are there with you. So shout out to everybody. There's History Lover and David and Flyboy. Who else? The Anator.
Thank you, Sci-Fi Brony, for the 1 minute long intro as well. Much appreciated. That is very cool. You see a little slug on the cell. I love it. And
Phil, I think, is there too. And more will come and go as well over on the YouTube side of things. And then on the, holy cow, there's so many. I'm like, I'm in all places. Josh and Sarah and Link.
And a Pojo appears.
No way. Is Pojo here?
Pojo? Oh no, Pojo.
Oh my God, Pojo, I love you. Oh, there's just some names when they appear, they just like go straight to my soul. There's also Slab and wait, Sci-Fi, are you on both Twitch and YouTube?
Represent. If you're not on both,
you're
not a real fan. You got to be on multiple platforms, on multiple username accounts as well.
And Nick Katrar. Oh, you guys are all here early. They're the early crew.
Oh, here we go. Nick says, be cool like me. Watch on YouTube, comment on Twitch.
Oh, shoot. Is that how to do it? Because you avoid the ads on YouTube, but that's,
I don't know.
That's legit.
Maybe the comments on YouTube are a bit glitchy sometimes.
That's the bandwidth right there. That's commitment.
Internationally, YouTube tends to do better than Twitch. Twitch is very America focused.
I thought so too, Katrar, but I wasn't quite sure because we have brand new equipment that we're testing. And so we're going to have to get our levels kind of
Yeah, this is a brand new mic.
So inside StreamYard, you might want to like bump up your actual StreamYard output.
Let's have a look. Wait, do you mean low as in deep or low as in quiet?
Quiet, I think.
Okay, let's have a look.
Twitch freezes and I have to reset constantly, but YouTube is behind Twitch. Oh, that's so interesting. Well, find where you like to be. Hope you guys had a good week. This week has been insane for me because my daughter went to a Fun Friday at our local theater where they put on like performances like Wizard of Oz and, you know, things like that. It's like our local theater. We have a theater that's with the college campus, and that's a really big theater, which is where you'll see larger performances like the national traveling troops that kind of come through for maybe like Phantom of the Opera or Hamilton, things like that. They'll go to the campus one, but then we have like a little city one that's been there for 40 years, and it's volunteer run theater. And so I took her there a couple months ago for like this one Friday thing, and she got to kind of go in and just see what it was like to watch a performance and, you know, learn some of the movements and how things work on the theater stage. And she really, really liked it. And she wanted to try out to be part of their troupe. So last week, we practiced her solo because she wanted you have to sing and perform in order to do tryouts. And she went and she did her tryout and she got on the callback list. Okay, truth be told, they accept every single elementary student.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I do. But it's fine because then they get to experience, you know, what it's like to go through the audition process and be selected. So it's kind of getting used to the format. And so because she was accepted, we are now, instead of doing dance, which we did last year, we're going to be doing theater, which is a combination of dance and singing and everything. So yeah, callback list, Sarah.
Oh, Kitty, are you going to come and say hello?
This week was her camp week where so great, you're in the theater troupe and now you have to come and acclimate. And it's a 3-day intensive. So for the first time since her schooling started, we go straight from school and we drive across town, and then she's there for 2 hours. She did it on Tuesday, Wednesday, and yesterday. And I am right there with her. I don't want to just drop her off and like, where am I going to go? So I'm hanging out in the theater space, and they have like a parent lounge where I'm taking my laptop and working, and I'm meeting people. And then yesterday I was kind of asked, like, do you want to come to the volunteer meeting? And like made paper flowers to go as part of the, the Oompa, nope. It's not Oompa Loompas.
Wait, what?
In Wizard of Oz. They're called
Fly My Pretties Fly?
Yeah, no, it's not the monkeys. You know?
I can't remember. What are they?
I wanna remember before the chat catches, but the chat's gonna catch it. The Munchkins.
Munchkins. Yes! That's what they are.
So there's Munchkin Land. Thank you. Thanks, Sci-Fi Brony.
Everyone just exploded. That was amazing.
Slab. Oh no. You get put on the volunteer list, you'll never get off of that list ever. No, you're not wrong. But yeah. I love theater, guys. Imagine me in a theater, like performing and singing and like just being a part of it. And then also it like helps Iris. It's so cool. The YouTube chat beat me to it. Oh, really? I missed the YouTube chat. Oh, yeah, History Lover did
History
it.
Got
David
there.
did it.
David got there right there.
Yeah, you did. Uh-huh. Nice. Thanks, guys.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I am paying attention. I was also trying to like get my mic to be a bit louder. Does it sound a bit louder now? Is it a bit better?
We will wait for the chat to tell us.
Let me know, chat, because I am tweaking some settings. These mics are great, but they're finicky.
So that's been the last 3 days. I'm coming off of an intense week of like showing up, supporting Iris, figuring out if this is something that she wants to do, meeting a really fun and passionate community, which is always exciting for me. And then tonight, I'm making the biggest sacrifice.
Oh, I'm so glad you're talking about this.
Because usually Justin hangs out with Iris on Friday nights. Usually I spend that evening doing whatever the fuck I want to do. By the way, this is not a radio show. Whatever I want to do.
Night? Mm-hmm.
Like it's in Baldur's Gate lately.
Yes, it has.
There might be some Minecrafting. Like there's just like maybe I just want to sleep, you know, but it's my kind of night to do with what I want. You saw the cat in the hallway? I know, I just saw his little tail.
That's amazing.
I wish he came when called, but he, you know, cats don't do that, I guess.
Not really. Well, they do, as long as you like rattling some food or something, then they'll come running.
That's true. I should bring some treats in here and lure him.
Yeah.
So, however, apparently it's football season again, and some people are doing some stuff with the sports crap. And so he's like, sorry, I really want to do this. And I'm like, okay. So here's why it matters. Tonight is a baseball game for her school where they have a whole section of the stadium where everybody from the school who wants to go can kind of come and sit together. Mm-hmm. And one of the teachers is throwing the first pitch at the Springfield Little Theater, or this not Springfield Little Theater, that's the other one, Springfield Cardinals game tonight.
That's amazing.
And so it's amazing for people who like to do that. But I hate sun and I don't enjoy sports.
Wait, but it's in the evening.
Really wanted to go. The sun is still going to be up for a little while.
Yeah,
you know
the sun's still going to be there.
And you're just sitting and you're just baking, you know?
Yeah.
But she wanted to go and she wanted to be with, there's 122 people from the school going. We're all going to be sitting together. And when the teacher throws the ball, this is going to be confusing for everybody because we're going to be going, caw, caw.
Which is Cardinals game.
Yeah. But it's because her school is the Ravens.
Yeah.
It is going to be a little confusing, but hopefully fun. And so I'm showing my support of her school and my daughter who wants to socialize by going once again in the evening to an event. And I know that we don't have a lot of like parents, like not all of us are parents, but let me just tell you, like making these sacrifices is sometimes.
Think about me.
Okay. I'm thinking
about
you.
That's not Baldur's Gate time. We've been playing Baldur's Gate.
Oh my God. I thought, think about me and the sacrifices I make today.
Yeah, the sacrifices I'm making tonight.
Oh my God.
I might have to go to the cinema or something and watch a Actually, no, I can't because it's too late because it'll be the middle of the night. So I guess I'll just be sat with my thumb up my bum.
You know, some people have a fun time with that.
It's true. It's true.
Yes, you're not wrong, Flyboy. That is usually when it happens. Baltimore Ravens are my team, even though I have not watched NFL in over 2 years. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Pigskin ball is back and they must get the thing to the other thing or something. Yes, it's a sports ball season. I'm so glad that you guys are with me on this.
Yeah.
Take an umbrella. Yeah, because my favorite thing to do is also block everyone else's view. Can you imagine?
Oh, somebody literally, Slab just said most sports venues ban umbrellas because it blocks people's views.
I should bring one that just has CinemaSins on it. Ding. And then we're blamed for everything.
Sports. Ding. Umbrellas. It's amazing. Yeah.
Think about Ian, Danae.
Right?
Think about it.
Think about the dogs and me.
Oh,
you know what? Link said, Ian, you could stream a game. I could stream Baldur's Gate and like look on her face.
No, don't play without me, FOMO.
You come back and I'm like 6 hours ahead of where we were.
And you know all the things that are going to happen. And you're like, you should come step over here, Danae.
You're going to want to do this.
Where are you at now? I'm at the end of it. Okay, what are the acts?
Oh,
by the way.
Yeah, we don't. We're still in Act 1. Like we haven't had a big screen that said Act 2, which I think actually happens. Yeah. Okay. We decided, so you've got like two paths. To get to Moonrise Tower, you can either go through the Underdark or you can go via the mountain path. We decided to complete the Underdark And instead of continuing to Moonrise Tower, we went back to do the mountain path as well because we love playing this game. So yeah, we have done that and we're heading towards the creche, but we're like 90 hours into the game.
Yes.
Of our play style, which is a lot of taking it very slowly.
Yeah, it's a slow. I mean, we can only play sometimes even like 40 minutes at a time. Like, you want to just get a quick fix in.
Yeah, just look before.
Yeah. We actually, so last night we played for maybe like an hour or something. No, it wasn't last night. Because it was when we were doing the Arcane Tower, and literally it was, we just want to remember to log in and try to put that one plant in the thingy and see if it works. And that's all we were just, let's just go see if that works.
Let's just see if that works.
Before we forget.
And that was only like half an hour. We was like, yep, got to go now. But we needed to know about the fucking flower.
We have so many things we've forgotten that we even have.
Why would you put a flower into a mechanical? It's so dumb. Magic is weird.
Tonight would be a good night for you to play Klingon Honor Guard.
It absolutely would. I've still got to download an emulator and figure that out.
Oh, because it can't.
I can't just. No.
You can't.
It's.
Yep.
Can't go straight in. That is a 20-year-old game. 26-year-old game. That's not going to work without some gerrymandering.
Eight, your idea is exactly my idea. Let's do both. Let's go both ways. Because I thought that if we went through the Underdark and we went through the mountain overpass, that there's stuff on each side. It's not like the Underdark is like, oh, you're suddenly at the tower. It's not like you're skipping everything. The game is going to give you things along the way. But we decided to go with the mountain pass first because someone said that it was, or an NPC said it was much more difficult, and we want to challenge ourselves.
Yeah.
And we just got a whole bunch of like mithril gear. Both of our main tanks are wearing mithril armor right now. So we're like feeling a little bit brave.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't be feeling so brave, but we're feeling a little brave.
To go headlong into a battle. But when you said that, Eights, I thought you meant like Danae take her computer to the baseball game and do both and play Baldur's Gate. It's like, fuck you, sports. I'm going to video game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. How many parents would be like, I want that world.
I want to do that more than this thing. Yeah.
So funny.
It's amazing. I love it. Love it.
What else?
Nick here just trying to hustle his way into a PS5.
I mean, it's working.
Do it.
So Nick said, if everyone in the chat donates $20, I can crowdsource a PS5. My daughter and me want to play Spider-Man 2. Think of the children. And Sci-Fi Brony responds and says, Ian and Danae are the children.
Yes, we are. We are your children.
Oh, shit. That's nice. Do you guys have CinemaSins lanyards? Technically not for sale. No. But we did have them for our fan event that we put together. I think we did a fan event for 5 years. Was it 5 or 6 years?
I think it was 5, 6 years, 5 years, 6, something like that.
We're not doing. We used to have something called Sin Week, but we had lanyards for Sin Week. We had these, different things. So. I put flowers into my dehydrator all the time. Does that count as a machine?
Oh, this is for your tea, isn't it?
Drink them later.
This is to make your homemade tea that you make.
I didn't know you do that, Josh.
Yeah.
Can we put some music on?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like the silence. It really bothers me. Oh, yeah. Oh, good point. Yeah, I can do that with this.
We need.
Hold on. I got it.
Sorry, mine's really...
I mean, this on repeat is going to get very annoying.
It's going to get really old.
But that's okay, because we're going to be starting the show here soon. You guys, I was at a computational biology conference yesterday. That sounds way more interesting.
My.
That sounds like this music.
That's better. That's like this.
And this guy was doing math while taking notes about other people's math. And as a math hater, I was very distressed.
He was doing math while taking notes about other people. That's insane. Nobody actually does that.
Oh. I guess it's kind of like, you're doing from some people, math is like a puzzle. So it's like you're doing like a little Sudoku puzzle while listening to somebody. It's like, but math is their happy space.
It's all made up. Math is all made up.
It's a made up language.
Yeah. Nick, do you mean in the podcast or this one?
What?
I could make this one go half a second faster. Oh, I get what you mean. Sorry.
Because from the show.
It's a fucking reference to
I
the
understood
episode
that reference.
Wow. I went straight into editor mode. I was like, what do you mean half a second? I can do that, but why? Give me a reason and I'll make it happen.
Oh, Flyboy. The first year without Cinemaweek was the year I was going to go, yeah. Ugh.
Oh, buddy. Oh, that would have been awesome.
Play Star Trek, and what's that?
Star Trekking across the universe on the Starship Enterprise on the Captain Kirk. Star Trekking across the universe.
Here comes the cat, Sarah.
Only going forward because we can't find reverse.
Come here, buddy.
Oh, I wonder if he's going to attack the cat or the dog.
Come here.
Get him on the bop.
Hey, kitty. No, it's fine. He's just sleeping. It's
yeah,
fine.
But there's a dog in here.
He fucked right off.
I don't want to be in there.
The dog is a little like intimidated by the cat, and so when the cat makes eye contact, he just kind of like freezes, like he doesn't know what's gonna happen. It's great.
No, thank you. Star Trekking. Well, that's gonna be in my head now.
Oh, Ian, fail. What did you? Is that from you singing?
The transporter thing. My singing is amazing.
Okay. I'm so behind on the chat. I'm so sorry.
I'm wondering, you missed out on a lot. You missed out on phasers. That's a bit loud, isn't it?
It's fine. You ready to start the show? Are we ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Warning. Warp core collapse.
That's really soft.
Okay, yeah, I did turn it down a bit too much. Okay.
The line must be drawn here.
I can't be upset whenever I got my board and started messing around.
Yeah, no, it's too fun. It's too much.
Yeah. What was the one?
Stop it, Slam. We've done the star date already.
What was the one that what was like the little person, like with like the little tiny voice?
Oh, it was this one. Yeah. Let's do the show in these voices. You think everybody will stick around?
I don't think so, and if they did, I would judge them for it.
Okay.
Captain's Pod Stardate!
Go on!
Captain's Pod, I've lost my flipping intro. Captain's Pod Stardate 169064.1. Ding.
Okay. This is done now.
They did not.
That was sorry everybody. Apologies everybody. It did sound like the Harborough. Harborough. You would stay. It is, yes. Also, please stop.
Please stop. Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
Ian, they want you to say, "Come, Chip, we gotta go save Gadget and Zipper."
Come, Chip, we've got to go save Gadget and Zipper. I want to play a game.
The cat is meowing, so I'm gonna go take care of the cat.
Okay, you should go sort that out. Psst, psst, psst. Come here, little kitty bird. Come, Chip, we gotta go save Gadget and Zipper.
What is happening? Can you hear the cat?
Meow. No.
He's going, meow. Look at him. He's right there.
Oh, I can see his little bottom.
Bop, bop.
I can his little cat bottom. He's small. Oh my god, that was so high pitched. That was amazing.
I'm so sorry. It's like,
The line must be drawn here. It's fine, no further. They invade our space and we fall back.
Do you want to leave?
They assimilate millions. And we fall back. The line must be drawn here.
I wish you could see his face. I'll be right
Oh.
Shit, there we go. I actually forgot how to turn my voice off then. I guess we go back into doing Lord of the... If you just walked in, that was an interesting time to join us. We're trying to capture a cat, and we decided to use voices to do it. Is it... What did I say? I thought I said assimilate. Did I say annihilate? Dang it. It's time for Lord of the Rings. Okay. There it is.
All right, story time, bitches. I think I started with the forward last time. Here we go. No, it's the prologue. Fucking hell, he's got 30 pages of book before he gets into the actual book. Okay, book one. A long-expected party. When Mr. Bilbo Baggins of Bag End announced that he would be shortly celebrating his 11st birthday with a party of special magnificence, there was much talk and excitement in Hobbiton. Bilbo was very rich and very peculiar, and had been the wonder of the Shire for 60 years, ever since his remarkable disappearance and unexpected return. The riches he had brought back from his travels had now become a local legend, and it was popularly believed, while ever the old folk might say, that the hill at Bag End was full of tunnels stuffed with treasure. And that's all for this week on Lord of the Rings Corner.
I would continue, but I'm actually worried that we might get taken down by the Tolkien estate if we continue to read any more of their book. I would, hand on heart, I would love to make an audiobook. I think I could read the shit out of some stuff, but I feel like I'd have to read the book a few times first to get the inflections right, or I'd have to do a few takes. I don't think I'm going to be a one-take wonder. I think it's going to be a few tries of reading through, which is going to be a lot of work for me, to be honest.
I'm back.
Hi, guys.
Hi, sir.
You missed the first paragraph
Argan.
of the Lord of the Rings.
Hi, Argan. What?
You missed the first paragraph of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's okay, because right here beside me, I happen to have several books. Pick a number between 1 and... either between... You can pick a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
6.
Okay.
The dog.
I shall now read an excerpt from this lovely book.
The Hobbit. Oh, is that the book based on the movie? That's clever. I love it when they turn movies into books.
12, says Slab. That's not what it said. That's not what I said. I could read Jeremy's book, J.A. It is very fitting, Nick. You're not wrong about that.
Are we ready to do a show?
I guess so.
Guess so? I felt like you would just hang around for 2 hours with the live show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would too. Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Yeah. No, we're not doing a show.
I'm planning on it.
No. We really need to get some background music, though. I demand it. Now, maybe we can find like some nuanced sort of, like, even if it's just like, or that. No, that works. Yeah.
I need to set that to repeat though. At the minute, it's not on a loop, but we'll find something. We'll find something to have in the background.
Fantastic voyage. Oh, yeah, there you go. Well, now you have some reading material, Nick.
Yeah, you do.
Not a problem.
I've actually started reading a Star Trek book. It's Lost to Eternity, which is a new one from the Kirk era. It's really good. It's really, really, really good. It's time bendy. It's really, really fun.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yes, do it.
Okay, we're going to do a live show now, which means we're going to stop chatting directly with you, and instead we're going to... That's the record scratch supposed to stop all audio.
Oh, no, that was stopping the song that I... Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Shit.
I wish you wouldn't do that all the time. Okay. So we're going to start the show. You guys know that your comments do influence the show. Sometimes we have the same thought and you think we're stealing your comments. And sometimes that's true. We do steal your comments, but we really, really do appreciate you being here as part of the show. You influence a lot of what we end up kind of leaning into during these, especially like you guys have so much knowledge and we really appreciate it. Also, I just want to say thanks to everybody who reached out to make sure that I was okay after last week's revelation about moving forward. I hold no person responsible for revealing this information to me. I am glad that I know the truth and that I have support of my my lovely community to support me.
Yeah, you do.
With that, we are an R-rated show, and thanks for watching later or live. Okay, you ready?
Ready. Also, just to confirm that next... Shut up. You don't even know what I'm going to say. Saturday, in your podcast feed, will be season 1, episode 6 in the feed. So you'll be able to listen to that ahead of this podcast version coming out on Wednesday. I did not update the bottom banner. I'm going to let the ambassador do that.
I already did it.
It's because you're on it. Amazing. Okay, let's do a show. Welcome to 10 Forward, the part of the show where we grab a drink or something from the replicator and share our immediate thoughts and feelings on the episode of Star Trek that we just watched. Most important question first, what would you like from the replicator ambassador?
I would like to wear ninja clothes today.
Oh, just the all black ninja undercover outfit? Heck yes. I want the plant then. I guess I'll just replicate the special plant that might be seeded somewhere that's important, but we're not too sure why.
Yeah.
And give us a synopsis of this amazing episode.
Have you ever wanted to know what happens when people get wounded in horrible, horrible ways?
Mm-hmm.
People who cannot be helped in just basic old sick bay? It's called sick bay, right? It's not called something different.
Yeah, no, it's the bay where
we're
people
not ruining
are sick.
10 Forward and sick bay.
No, it's
okay,
not.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, it's sick bay because it's where the sick people are. Yeah.
Well, this episode reveals that information. We also get to see Mariner struggle with being great.
The complications of progression and success.
Have you ever known anybody who has been a self-saboteur because they fear success?
Not to the extent that Mariner is, but I have 100% worked with, I think I've worked with more people that have put the brakes on their own career because they don't want the extra stress than I've worked with people who are ambitious and try and get to the top.
Yeah. Well, this episode is going to give you so many examples of what it could look like in your life. If you ever come across someone, they're all rolled up into one character named Mariner. And also, Tendi creates life. And it's not because she got pregnant.
She sure did. She created the best form of life I can imagine. Oh, my goodness. Overall thoughts and feelings, Ambassador. How did you, after an episode last week that you definitely you did not like last week's episode, how did you feel about this week, considering I hyped it up a little bit as one of my favorites?
You did hype it up, and I thankfully kind of try to put that in the back of my mind so that it wouldn't I wouldn't feel the pressure of liking something that a friend likes, but I think I enjoyed this episode overall. I have to say, watching somebody struggle with greatness and self-sabotage is obviously one of the recurrent themes of this show. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay for a show to have specific themes that they're focusing on, but similar to an over-the-head romance theme, every once in a while, I will find myself just checking out when there's a repetition to a story element, wondering if it's going a little bit into the crutch department. And so I'm asking myself while I'm watching this if I'm finding it relatable. Like I do relate to a lot of Mariner's chaos and her, I don't know. There's parts of her personality that I really kind of feel a kinship toward. And I actually know what it feels like to rise up in the ranks of something and realize it's just not as fun for you. Like having responsibility does change my desire to be engaged in certain ways. So, but she's a very extreme example. And yeah, in this one, I was really interesting. That moment whenever she accepts being not first mate.
No, same thing. First officer, first mate. It is exactly the same thing.
No, it's first officer. No, it's first officer.
Number one.
And she has this hesitant look on her face. Like it was in that moment that I was like, oh yeah, this is probably going to be a self-saboteur.
Yeah.
And with there being multiple self-saboteurs that we've been watching, I just want it to feel new. And then, of course, knowing that there's even more as the seasons go on, I found myself disassociating from that character, which is hard for me because I like Mariner's character. So I'm almost like protecting myself by putting up some barriers in a way. Like I'm like, I guess I'll just kind of check out a little bit here. But it wasn't that I didn't like it. It's just that was the hardest part for me.
I think that's a great way to explain it. And I think if we'd done season 1 first, we probably wouldn't be talking about that as much because we didn't mention it too much when we've covered like season 3 and season 4 because it was new. But I'm in exactly the same boat. And it's why I'm not mad that Lower Decks is ending because I think it was always going to have a finite arc. Like the Lower Deckers, once you start promoting them and they stop being Lower Decks, the show stops. So unless you do this anthology thing that moves into like other Lower Deckers that come onto the Cerritos or come onto a different ship, which I think they can absolutely do and would be really cool. You do end up spinning your wheels a bit. So I'm right there with you, but this is like the reverse for me. This episode gets a pass and I'm more engaged because I remember it from season 1. As soon as I get into season 2 and 3 and this is still happening, that's where I disassociate. And I'm like, I love you, Mariner, but this is exhausting. Like between mummy drama and then career drama, it's like, where are we going? Where's the progression? And we do get some more of that at the end of season 3 and season 4. It just, it feels a little bit wheel spinny. So I'm with you for that. The Mariner part of the story is that B plot, or I guess it's the A plot. But anyway, whatever her bit of the story is the bit I kind of enjoy less with this. Although we do get a little bit more of like an explicit, oh, you really are self-sabotaging by the end of the episode. Like she spells it out. Like, what if I just want to be a great ensign? Like, because the vast majority of the characters we've seen in Star Trek so far have been progression. Like Harry in Voyager is chasing a promotion. Wesley is rewarded with promotions. Worf gets a promotion. Like everything is kind of about progression and who's eventually going to get the captain's chair. Even Deanna, the counselor, is like, what if I want a shot at the captain's chair? And what if not everybody wants to do that? Like that's the bit I like the most, is representing the other people in Starfleet. They're like, hey, what if I just like it down here?
There's something else that this episode, a lot of storytelling does, or in this episode also does, which is that maybe Mariner has a lack of understanding of what she's doing, and so she doesn't know how to talk about it. But by the end of the episode, she does. She says, or maybe it's the captain. I can't remember. Was it the captain who said, "I'll do less recruiting and you do less sucking and start kicking ass as an ensign," or something like this?
Yeah, basically.
There was like a moment there towards the end, and I guess this is the point. The thing that I'm kind of trying to reach for here is Mariner has option to just say, I don't want to rise in the ranks. But I guess at this point in the series, maybe she's not quite aware of that yet. You know, maybe she's not aware that of what she's doing. It's maybe not an active thing. And perhaps this episode was an attempt here in the first season to kind of show that she's, I can't tell if she's aware of it and actively sabotaging. I think the episode's saying that, but I have a hard time believing she would be putting people's lives in danger by just like purposefully forgetting tricorders or whatever.
Yeah, like that flood thing seems very dangerous.
Yeah. Putting people in danger doesn't seem like something that she would do to just avoid. I can't kind of quite connect to whether it's a purposeful.
A hard one to reconcile.
Yeah.
When
I
other
think
people's
later
lives are at
on
risk.
she knows maybe that she's doing this and she's actively avoiding being promoted. I'm kind of thinking as I talk here, and I feel like I remember in previous episodes, though, this season that she's sort of aware of it.
So
anyhow, the show is coupling this idea that she herself is sabotaging, and maybe she knows it, maybe she doesn't know it, and she's not willing to even say that and put people at risk to do it and still carry on with the drama. Like, how much different would this episode have been if Mariner said, I'm going to be your first officer for this mission because it sounds like a lot of fun, but I'm not interested in going any further. Like, this is just a temporary thing. Like,
where's the fun in that, Danae? Where's the...
The fun is that I'm engaged, though. The fun is that I'm like,
talk about it. Yeah, exactly. If we talk about our problems, where's the conflict? Yeah.
Way to come up with a very mature way of doing things, Danae.
No, not doing that. There's two things. Nick in the live chat, I'm just going to give him a quick shout out because he mentioned a really good thing that's important to remember, is that during season 4, we find out a bit of Mariner's backstory, that she was really driven, but then one of her friends at the academy gets killed on a mission. And she elaborates a bit more that one of the reasons she doesn't want to be in command is because she doesn't want to order her friends to their death. Like, she doesn't want to have to go through that kind of loss again. My question is, did the show know that at this point? Like,
yeah, I don't know that it. I mean, let's say
it doesn't feel like it. They might.
If they knew that at this point, that's part of her backstory, I think I would love that.
Yeah.
And in this case, she's not taking a captain's position. She's taking a first officer position. But even then, you know, pushing the wrong buttons on accident or on purpose, whatever she's doing, isn't a major thing. And so, like, sending off the red alert, not a major thing, but why fail at the little things? Why say yes to it at all? And that's the part that I'm confused with on this episode, is that she kind of seems to have done it because she just wants to hang out with her old buddy from college and fuck around. And I have a hard time thinking that she's wanting other people to sabotage as well. But I think at this point, the show is wanting us to kind of see that maybe Mariner doesn't know what she's actually wanting.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of pride in there as well. Like, even though she's like, this is deliberate, this is her friend, they graduated at the same time and she's a captain. Even though Mariner is comfortable being an ensign, there's still a little bit of pride about, like, yeah, I know I'm not a captain, but quit it. But I could totally do it. And then she shifts hard into, I have to self-sabotage so that you don't try and recruit me. But there's another element where I think she was promoted. Like, she was a lieutenant at one point at least, and then got demoted. So I think maybe over the last few years of her career, she has been doing it the nice way, and people still aren't getting it. They're still like, you should be promoted, you should be promoted. So now she's had to go to the like extreme of the spectrum and say, right, well, I've really got to fuck things up to make sure that people don't pressure me into this. Like, I've tried it the subtle way, and people still assume that I should be progressing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting.
Overall, though, I think the episode does what Lower Decks does really well, which is towards the end, it's really going back and forth between the stories that it's showing. And it felt like a very action-packed episode because we have an attack on a ship paired with this mutiny situation that Boimler is in. I don't know which is the A plot and which is the B plot. Do you?
I mean, I think technically Mariner is the A plot because she's the protagonist of the show, and Boimler.
But the episode is
plot.
called Much Ado About Boimler.
It's misdirect. That's I think I genuinely think it's the show is still misdirecting us into not realizing Mariner is the main character.
And I think this episode is both. I think it just goes back and forth between the two pretty evenly.
It's an even split. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we have an interesting thing that this episode does in that at the end it merges the A and the B together, because the Boimler thing is all about this transporter issue, which we'll get to. And then at the end of Mariner's adventure as being the first officer, she needs what Rutherford had created with his teleportation to save the day.
Yeah.
I think the episode feels rushed, and I think that it was just barreling towards the end. And this is the episode that at the end I'm like, I don't know how any of that just happened, but okay, that's pretty. You know,
it's so pretty. And this is why I'm such a sucker, because I didn't think it was rushed. I loved it. I loved it so much. And I love like Rutherford running. You just suck me in with a last minute emergency beam out. It is the most MacGuffin-y thing you could possibly do. It's like, we don't need to think about this. The transporters will solve this problem. But you have somebody running through the ship like Rutherford is. Never mind that he could be beamed to the place that he needs to be. But running through the ship, an emergency beam out, last minute, energize, whoosh, bring it out. I'm in. I'm all in. And then the ship explodes into this beautiful space jellyfish thing, obvious callback. And I'm just like, I'm sucked in, because it's like, it's fast paced, it's fun, it looks beautiful, and all of my critical brain just goes out of the window. So thank you for being the objective critic here, because I fucking love that finale. I can't not like it.
It's so nice. I don't understand how they were inside the creature or how it had merged with the ship. I want to get into that.
Yeah,
I want to get into that, but
you're gonna have more sins than me this week.
No, it's so hard to sin this show because it's so fast paced and the dialogue is, just warp speed. So there's really not a lot that you can do except for just get on the ride. It's like a roller coaster. You strap in for the beginning of it, you're on the ride, and at the end you're like, okay, I think I like this loop-de-loop, but this da-da-da-da-da,
This was one of the episodes that I wanted to play at like 0.75 speed.
Yeah.
It's going so freaking fast. On the B plot with Boimler though, this gets one of the biggest laughs from me with that cold open. That fucking dog.
Fucking dog.
I love it so much. There are so many layers there. First of all, Tendi creates a brand new creature. She's proud of the coding, and everyone's just like, it's a dog. Like you could create any creature you wanted, and you made a golden retriever, like, or a Labrador, whatever it is. Like, okay, cool.
Same difference.
All of its limbs bend, and then it like jumps into the corner, and Boimler's just like, not a dog, not a dog.
Tell me that you're going to put in the outtakes my scream.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I was so glad everything was being recorded on like full. I have all of the channels recorded. I have the show, I have me, I have you. It's all going in there. When that dog does its thing, oh my goodness, it's so fun. What a good boy.
I even said when it happened, well, thank God this isn't going to continue. Because they usually have the cold open an unrelated part.
Thank God they never referred back to the cold open. And I was like, oops.
I love that Tendi just didn't know what a dog did. It was a genuine mistake. It wasn't even, it was like, if someone told me the name of a creature that lived on a different planet and I just heard about it my entire life and I thought I knew everything that this creature did and then I just made it.
Yeah.
But I thought it needed to have lightning stuff and
the rumors. The like you've never actually seen one yourself, but you've been told lots of stories, like a biblically accurate angel. Like, oh, I guess it's this monstrosity thing.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. It was horrible, and then it continued on.
It's so fun. The bit that kills me is when Boimler and I think it's Boimler and Rutherford, Boimler and somebody are talking, and then the dog walks along, turns into a fucking cube,
and then just
keeps rolling along.
If you can call it rolling, yes.
It just kills me. And Boimler's just like, okay. Oh man, that gets me. It's just that Rick and Morty style humor. Yeah, I'm just so happy this exists. Like, to get moments like that are just too bizarre for actual Star Trek, but in my happy place, feels like a personal gift to me.
The show does a good job as well of setting it up in that opening, because she goes through this in-depth explanation as to how the dog was created, with like all these different ways of, like, I can't wait to show you what it did with the mitochondria. You're going to think it's so hilarious. Just these, and that's the kind of writing that the animation is fun, like you said, the Rick and Morty style, or just this unexpected. It kind of shifted into horror, but then humor, and it's all working really, really well. Yeah. And to sprinkle that into this episode, I think it's my favorite part of this episode for sure, because the adventure that Mariner is going on to this other ship to save people, and, the little bog bit where they're kind of doing their thing was just like, okay, we're going on a Star Trek adventure. Yeah. The actual Captain Freeman, being sent on this. What I loved about the Captain Freeman bit as well, which we only see a couple of times in this episode. They were taking it so seriously. And what they were saying about, like, we've got to be able to plant the seed at any moment. It was so available. Over the top and ridiculous, but they were absolutely serious about it. Like, that kind of humor as well is something that I can't stop thinking about. And if I was going to rewatch a moment from this episode, I think it would be when the fill-in captain has just had a brief moment to check in with Captain Freeman, and they're deadpan serious. Like, it could happen anytime now. We're going to be asked. And they're in ninja gear, in ultimate secrecy.
In a cave.
And the crew is respectfully talking like, well, that's a really big mission, And it's so, that also is a part of this writer's humor that it's really, I don't know. It's, to me, it was very, very delightful. I liked it.
It would get a sin removal because it's unsinnable, because it's sinning itself so perfectly, because it is sending up this Star Trek trope of this really, really important thing that might seem really, really mundane because alien shit happens. But that setup is pulled directly from Chain of Command, a two-parter in The Next Generation, where Picard, Worf, and Beverly go on a super secret mission, and a replacement captain comes in, changes all of the rules. So that's what Mariner is referencing. Nobody likes sub-captain because they come in, they want to buffer the things, they have unreasonable demands. That's what Jellicoe does in Chain of Command. And what's hilarious, you're like, this is a super secret covert mission into Cardassian space. Beverly, my friend, what the fuck are you doing here? And we find out it's because Beverly has this very specific knowledge about this certain type of, like, biological radiation that's being used in this weapon. And she's like, oh, that's why I'm on this mission, because of, like, this research paper that I wrote that nobody knows about and, like, didn't exist until this episode. So that very specific plant knowledge is taking that to the extreme. Oh, Ransom and Shax are on this mission because they happen to be specialists in this random fucking plant. So I love that parody and love letter at the same time to TNG. It's there is so much packed into just that one premise. I love it.
I had no idea about the reference at all.
Oh, you wouldn't? We haven't seen the episode.
But I like that. Well, I have seen. Well, TNG is like, if I've seen something, it would have been from TNG.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But so maybe we'll start watching it and I'll have a memory, which has happened many times on this show, where I'll watch something and wait, I've been here before.
Yeah, this seems. I have a memory of this place.
Well, that explains then why this episode didn't sit too much into that. that it was such a strong reference to TNG.
Yeah, we know what that is. Yeah.
That anyone who knows TNG would be like, oh, I know what to expect this episode. And so the episode does something like it's just a little little line, you know.
And Picard and everyone they're all wearing the black tactical gear as well. And it takes place in a cave. Like it is that episode.
It sort of ruins it for me a little bit.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no, tell me more. Tell me why this is a new 10 forward gate.
So I understand. So I think one of the things that works for Lower Decks for people who watch Star Trek is the references.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons it's a successful show inside the universe. It does a really beautiful thing of bringing in new viewers and delighting old viewers too. So I think I understand doing those kinds of things, but I kind of want it to, it's standing on its own in unique ways. And I'm always going to have a confusion about when is this show standing on its own and doing something super unique and silly, and when is it standing on a reference?
That's a great point. Yeah.
And so
You're misappropriating credit. You're like, I didn't need to give Lower Decks credit for that because TNG did it. Yeah, I see what you mean.
It still gives credit to Lower Decks for doing it that way. So
it knows exactly what it's doing. Yeah.
They're making fun of themselves. But for me, I didn't think it was a making fun of moment. It was clear based on like how casual, like, oh, they're doing something real serious. Like the way that they said it had a vibe to it that I wondered if they were making fun of Captain Freeman, but but they also were treating it with like an element of like reverence and respect. And
I think it can be that. Yeah, I think it could well be because this is serious to them. So I can see it being interpreted either way for sure.
Yeah. So finding out that it's like, it wasn't the show putting out some random note. And here's the other thing that kind of bums me out. It's like, oh, so it was so random and it was so out of place and it didn't have a part in the rest of it except for the reason for, you know, a new captain to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
But they could make that be anything, like, you know, so this is their reason, you know, for doing this thing and having a couple of lines. Now I know that those couple of lines exist as an inside joke instead of it being like giving them something so, for me, obscure to do, so ridiculous to do, that it's just it just was like a stupid thing. Like they're carrying around a plant. It just seemed really stupid, but to make it important was funny. And they kind of, but that was only existent because of a reference. Anyway, we don't have to keep talking about it, but that just changed that it's not my favorite thing now.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's part of what the show does.
Knowledge is important. Knowledge is
changes how I feel about things.
Well, the other bit of the episode we have is Boimler being stuck in a transporter beam, which, like, we've had lots of transporter episodes come up, and I love that Lower Decks found the perfectly silly way to do it. What if you got stuck in the very, very last part that's apparently cosmetic? And, like, Boimler's the perfect person for it to happen to. He wants to impress new people. And to begin with, like, he's just going around with this high-pitched shrieking.
Yeah. Tinnitus so be great. Damned. But I like that. If you want to know what having tinnitus is like, you just watch this episode.
But I love it. I kind of loved having the constant final end of the transporter beam around. But yeah, he gets sent to a secret ship, which kind of like poses another question, which is really fun for the show to answer for me, which is all of like the crazy shit that we happen, like the two Vixes, the salamanders, like all of the stuff that goes out of phase. Geordie gets turned into an alien at one point. Like all of the stuff that happens. What happens to the people that don't get like immediately turned back? Like all of the Enterprise, where during Genesis, when it all goes through, they will get de-evolved. Like fortunately, Beverly was able to re-evolve everybody. But what happens to the people that can't? Like I would happily have a TV show set on the farm. I think it's great.
It was, yeah. I think it was the part of the episode I sunk my teeth into the most because I was, like I said, disassociating to the Mariner bit. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it wasn't hitting for me. I'm trying to search for my words here and not just, I don't want to say anything negative without having a reason to say what I have to say. Yeah, that makes sense. But I think the show told me what I was annoyed by the end, which was when the captain of this shuttle that's taking these people to this farm, when they arrive on the planet and it's exactly what he was promised, this kind of beautiful space for healing, this sort of spa, a medical spa. The captain guy says, we should really work on like changing our lighting and maybe painting things in a more appealing color and having communication. So the show,
you were picking up on all of that already.
Of course. Yeah. The show tells you, I mean, like it's telegraphing that something nefarious is going on,
Yeah.
And all of those things can be solved with just a few scenes of things going different. But then like, what would the show be about? So then I ask myself like, well, what is this doing for a Star Trek fan? And I think we should maybe focus more on that for you. Like, what does this do for you? Because you've seen more of these medical problems than I have. So is it like a question solved? Is District 14 or whatever 14, whatever it's called, what's it called?
Yeah, Division 14?
Division 14? Let's check notes.
Check the notes.
Yeah, Division 14. Is that something you're like, oh, that's fun because that's going to answer all these questions I have. And then you're seeing machines that I've never seen before. And like the people that are just to have their heads out of the top with like the little beep beep thing. And are you looking at this going, oh, this is fun? For me, I'm not looking at it going like, oh, I've seen this in an episode before. It's just, here's all the body horror that we can think of that someone has endured working for Starfleet.
That's really interesting. For me as a fan, it is like this umbrella thing that's really fun to think about because so many of these issues happen. Like so many episodes, the premise are crazy thing happens. We've got it solved by the end of the episode. So I like the idea that they had to create this place for the problems that aren't immediately able to be solved. And it kind of makes sense to me. So just as a premise, I think they could have done a lot more with it. But as a premise, I think it's really fun. Like, you're right. The misdirection of everything looks evil, but it's actually, no, it is a sanctuary. It is exactly what we said it was going to be. That misdirect is kind of like low hanging fruit a little bit. Like, you could do a lot more with this premise, but overlay that with some of the references that they couldn't help themselves with. The salamander is from Voyager. That's something that happens in a notorious episode where Janeway and Tom get turned into salamanders. The people in the electronic wheelchair boxes, that's what Pike ends up in after his accident with all of the radiation.
His future accident?
His future accident. He ends up in the box where you can only beep. Like, that's his future.
Why
that's
can he only beep?
Because the Delta radiation destroyed his nervous system. So, yeah, he is in a box and he can beep once. I know. They probably in the 2300s, they should probably...
grim.
Yeah, they should probably have better ways of communicating. But yeah,
that's a sin. David called it out on YouTube. This sin. The Captain Pike beeping chair is still apparently the only treatment for severe Delta radiation exposure in the 24th century.
He should be able to communicate more. Yeah, so that's Pike's future. That's what he was trying to avoid, but has now accepted. So, and you've also, there was another one that is escaping me, but yeah, it's quite a few of them were ailments that we've seen before. So it's, again, little rewards to the people that have seen a ton of Star Trek. But I thought the concept for me was really, really fun. I like that. I like exploring that.
I never believed that they were going to be going someplace they weren't supposed to be going to.
Yeah, that doesn't really check out, does it? It's not section... I think they're tying into like a section 31 kind of vibe. But
yeah, they want you to believe that they're just being shuttled off because these people are worthless now and can't...
Yeah.
They can't contribute, so we're going to just go and put them on the farm, which is for people who live in the Ozarks and maybe anywhere else in the world. You're told that your dog has been sent to the farm once it's, useless and old. Usually it's just been taken to the vet and euthanized. So like it's clear that they're trying to do the diversion, but there's just no way that that wouldn't have been discovered. And so I never believed that they weren't going there.
Yeah.
And the Boimler drama is just him, trying to do the right thing. It goes wrong. I'm having a hard time. I'm realizing the last few episodes of taking this show seriously. And it's weird that I'm trying to take it seriously.
Yeah, I think we have to stop.
I guess.
But you can't stop because I think it wants to be taken seriously as well. Like, it's firmly in the universe. The Cerritos is a ship. Like, all of this, to use the deadly word, is in canon. So it's hard to not take it seriously and then to not be like, how are you people still in a job?
That's not to say that in real everyday life, we don't have weird things happening that, like, does someone jump on a bus to go to a rehabilitation center of some kind and think that they're never going to get off the bus because, it's going to take them 2 days to get there, and they end up wondering if they're just going to be shut up. Like, this is probably all coming from a place where just weird stuff happens in real life, and we're trying to like amplify it and go, but in space where they have to go light years away, and it's going to take
weirder
months or however long the guy said that it had taken to kind of get there. But so maybe part of it is believable, but I have a hard time thinking that there wouldn't be comfortable accommodations, that the captain of that ship wouldn't have kept Boimler in a separate area since he's the one that pissed everybody off. Like, Boimler is jumped in this episode and stomped, and maybe the only reason he survives is because he's phased and he doesn't have a physical form. But he was about to be murdered. Like this.
Well, they did,
and no one is charged for that.
Yeah, they didn't know. Like, a murder was attempted because they didn't know that they landed. They did throw him into space. That's my biggest sin of the episode for sure. So yeah, like, I think that's always going to be an inherent flaw with Lower Decks. Yeah.
So there's some things that are just, for me, extremely unbelievable, and that's that's part of it is going, okay, I got to get my Lower Decks head on.
Well, it's especially
when I'm wanting to take it more seriously, because everything else I try to take pretty seriously because I want to respect the material.
Well, it's especially hard when Boimler turns up in Strange New Worlds, because that really solidifies that this is a human being.
They are.
This is happening.
We're just watching all of this through the filter of animation.
Yeah. He is a real person. We have seen him and Mariner. Like, it's, that's going to be a side effect of bringing them into the quote unquote real world. But I did have a lot of fun with it. I can't help myself. I'm sorry, Ambassador. How many pips would you give it out of 4?
2.5.
It's 3.5 for me. 3.5. I really, really like this episode. Just as a switch my brain off comedy. I can't ignore the belly laughs that it gives me. I really, really love it. But I completely see where you're coming from.
I have a hard time. I'm having a hard time with the Lower Decks.
Season 1, okay. You're struggle busting with it, and I get it. I get it. All of your arguments are very logical, and it's I totally buy it. I get it. Bring on season 5. It's going to be really interesting to watch season 5 and see how that tweaks you now.
Yeah, but I feel like the last episodes I watched, there was some character growth happening.
A lot in season 4.
Eventually it seems like Lower Decks is kind of shifting towards, like, so at season 1, we're understanding who these characters are to each other, to the ship, to the Lower Decks crew. I don't know. I think it was like the season 3 was more, where are we going from here? And the future of Lower Decks was sort of up in the air in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I think there's going to be, knowing you have one final season is a gift. Like, imagine Discovery not knowing, like, until they were part way through, and how interesting that is.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice that Lower Decks have known, I think this is right, from the off. Well, not from the off, sorry. From before they were too deep into season 5 that this was going to be it.
Here's a comment from the chat. David says on Prodigy season 2, the Doctor calls the Prodigy crew, quote, the most dysfunctional crew since the Cerritos.
Oh, I love that. I haven't got that far yet. That's really fun. Yeah, that makes... I love that another show has referenced it and they kind of know. Because Prodigy's way more serious. What I have watched of Prodigy, I've seen the first 20 episodes. Way more serious than Lower Decks. Like, I believe that Prodigy is in the universe way more than I do Lower Decks. It's like, considering it's aimed at like 12, 13, 14-year-olds, it's deadly serious. It's very interesting. Okay, with that, let's head over to engineering, even though I think we've done a lot of the sinning, to officially do some sinning.
Warning. Warp core collapse in 10 seconds. Red alarm. Red alarm.
It's very
alarm.
Quiet. Very quiet.
I will tweak that for next week.
Yeah.
So happy with myself, I didn't get to the right bit of my notes. This is the part of the show where we re-engage our sin brains and remind ourselves that no TV shows without sin, even our beloved Star Trek. We really hit on my biggest sin of the episode, which is they kill a man. They throw Boimler into space. Just because you didn't know the gun wasn't loaded, it doesn't mean that like your intent was to kill that person. Like they threw him into space. They just got lucky that they'd actually landed. So yeah, that's wild to me. And there's no consequences. There is nothing that comes of that. They all just shake hands and move on. Is hard to eat and swallow.
Yeah. Sin. That sound.
The transporter sound?
Just quit it. That was so annoying.
I'm so glad they found a way to stop it.
That sound was obnoxious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was... Cutting that out wasn't for the plot. That was for us. They knew that was going to be annoying. Yeah. Yes. I would like to sing that Amina, I believe that's her name, can just willy-nilly take an ensign that happens to be her best friend and give her the experience of being first officer. Nepotism much. Like, just bring your buddy on to be first officer. It seems a little bit unfair to any lieutenants that might be on board that would love the opportunity to prove themselves as a commander, if we're going to get nitpicky.
My next sin is I just don't believe that Boimler would want to stay off of the Cerritos. I think he's far too driven in his career. I think the character that I've seen is the guy who'd be like, great, I can get back to work and prove my worth and work up the ranks. Oh, you mean like
wanting to stay on the farm?
Yeah. I just have a hard time believing that he'd be like, this is where I'm going to stay forever. You know, maybe like, I guess a little break or something.
I think he did say 2 weeks. He said just a 2 week, what did he call it? He called it something gross. It was like not a 2 week purge, but like a 2 week something.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's horny Boimler confuses me sometimes because I'm like, it's interesting. What have we got? Oh, this was fun. So this is when the Vulcan when they're on the Rubidoux, she turns on the artificial gravity. You really should know where the crew is and that they're in a position to be gravitied before you force gravity upon them.
That's
because
right.
They could have easily been under a container, upside down. It's the sort of thing where you want to be really careful. Everybody is holding on to something tight or has been secured before you willy-nilly turn it back on.
Gravity with consent.
Gravity with consent, always. Exactly.
I've mentioned a lot of my thoughts, so I will start reading from the chat. And
go for it.
I'll give some receipts for that.
You guys have got some great sins.
Tendi, do you want the thing? Because this is how you get the thing from Flyboy.
What's
making the dog. Making the dog, right?
Oh, the thing. Oh, it really is. Yeah, that really is.
She created... If this dog does not reappear in any form or fashion in their world at some point, I'm going to be so disappointed because this dog is like...
I can't believe you got the thing reference and I didn't. This is a slow day for my brain. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I've got one I wanted to add. Where did that shuttle come from that was on the farm, and why aren't we taking that?
Yeah.
Boimler and Tendi leave on a fucking shuttle. Where did that come from?
Yes, that was really strange. Like, why can't we just take a shuttle back? Why do we have to take the creepy ship?
Because they need to be convinced that it takes months to get there. Yeah, exactly. They really should have more comfortable accommodation given the shit that they're going through. Like, Starfleet should be line of duty. We respect that you literally put your body on the line. The farm's great, as is the vehicle that's going to get you there.
Yeah. My next sin is actually one that I just found in my notes, and I remember that was up in the chat. And thank you, Wandering, for posting this one, because here it is. There is no way that this transporter modification is faster than transporting them normally. Rutherford says it saves half a second, but it takes much longer to enable the thing. And this was in my notes. I was like, it's taking so long to do this thing, but I couldn't remember if there was something else that he was modifying with the machine to make it more efficient somehow. But I thought it was just based on time.
This is one of the problems, because the joke at the beginning is great, because he's like, oh my God, it's half a second quicker. Like, the materialization takes a long time, whatever. And then the TNG one is quicker than the one in TOS, and the one in Discovery is even quicker than that. So I think the joke is referencing how one of the goals of transporters is to get it faster and faster and faster. But then when you turn that into the plot crutch at the end, it opens up a lot of questions, because it didn't really save any time. And the thing is, with the impressive thing for me wasn't necessarily how quickly he beamed them out, but it was the amount of people he beamed at the same time. Like, he beamed all of them at once. And usually there's this, we can only beam out so many people at a time. And if we're going to rescue everybody, get to the transporter pads, and there's a time crunch here. So the volume was what impressed me, not the duration.
Yeah, it seemed like it would have taken a lot of energy. And he ran over and grabbed some chips and ran back, and it took...
Also, just in emergencies.
It took too long. It shouldn't work. Yeah. Whatever the sin is there, that's just a bunch of bullshit.
Just in emergencies, it should be automated as well. It should be computer. You do the button pushing. I won't. You're quick. You're already there. Computer, you're in the transporter room already. Could you please beam them over?
Let's see. It was really confusing too. And so there's several of these in the chat in the form of this, which is confusion and or sins about the chain of the chain of command. Not the show, not the episode.
Okay.
But so the Captain Freeman leaves, and then the next new captain, the babysitter, arrives. But then we see that there's still officers on the ship that have, I guess, just been taking the time off, because we see Ransom at the end with like a beard in the background just hanging out at the bar. So one of my questions I forgot to ask earlier was, is that normal? Like, I would think that one of the remaining officers would just be promoted to like a temp captain situation.
So in Chain of Command, they reassign Picard off of the Enterprise and bring in Jellicoe. It's not actually necessarily as a temp. It's when they think that this mission will be for a long time or has such a risk involved that the captain might not ever come back. And Riker, for whatever reason, they weren't ready to put Riker in command of the most important ship in the fleet. Like, his first command probably shouldn't be the Enterprise. It's the most important ship. So Jellicoe comes in because he has a lot more experience. So yeah, they actually mention in that episode, Geordie's like, they usually don't go through all of this unless it's like for a long time or permanent. So yeah, it's not the norm, but it's when they think the mission is extra long or extra risky. And Ransom was on the mission as well, so that's why he wasn't there.
Ransom was at the bar at the end before the captain had even come back.
That's after the mission's finished.
I missed that bit. How do we know the mission was finished?
Oh, because he's back on the ship. But it was Ransom, Shax, and Captain Freeman that were on the mission. Which I think are the three most senior people.
Okay. I missed it. Ransom was part of the 3. I was totally distracted. Okay.
And it has to be Ransom and Shax because they have the plant knowledge. So I think when you wipe out that much of the command crew, you have to bring in... It makes sense to bring in somebody new.
Okay, so Ransom comes back, but that was part of the... Okay, that helps me to kind of timeline.
Yeah.
It still seems really interesting to bring on other people. And I think that
it's very disruptive. Yeah.
The sins of the chat were about existing rank of command, but then also it seemed like they brought on the replacement after the captain had already left. So
there should be an actual handover of power. Like they do this changeover of logs, whereas like Freeman's already on this fucking mission. She's gone, and then the crew beamed over. So there should be a handing off ceremony. As far as we know from TNG.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you want to pull one from the chat, or do you have another one?
No, that was all of my sins actually.
Okay, so in the chat, there's a sin for acid reflux.
Yeah, acid reflux sucks.
There's a sin about Mariner leaving the tricorders. Why didn't they just have the Cerrito beam that down?
True. Yeah.
Why did everyone not die when the view screen shattered? That was one of them that I thought. I was like, I guess we can all survive for a little while holding our breath, I guess.
Yeah.
But maybe one that is really important is this one here. Lying about going to the bathroom, Tendi. Or was she doing the DNA work while she was on the toilet?
No, I think she was taking extra toilet breaks and was actually going off to do the DNA work.
Let's just take this moment to remind everybody that playing on your smartphone while you're on the toilet and extending your time on the toilet is really, really bad.
It's bad for your circulation.
It's bad for your circulation.
Bad for your legs. Yeah. Bad for your heart.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But you know what?
You don't want all of that stuff to be coming down and kind of expelled. You want to be keeping it up and in. You know, for the women, we call this our pelvic floor work. We need to suck it all back up so it doesn't fall out when we're retiring.
Point to put that into the outtakes.
Oh God!
Honestly, do yourself a favor. Get your business done in and out of the toilet pretty much as quickly as you can without straining too much. Right. And then take a 5-minute break on your phone. Like I in my head, I do it because I'm like, I'm in here anyway. There's nothing lost.
Yeah.
But I'm spending way more time in there. So get the business done, give yourself 5 minutes on your phone, and then get back to work.
Hemorrhoids, get a squatty potty, says the chat.
Yeah.
Like, no reading a book, Nick. That's too much.
No, that's bad as well. Don't do that.
No. You get in, you do your shit, literally, and you get out. Unless you have a reason to be in the toilet for a very, very long time.
Correct.
And then, yes, you can, just be careful. Just, your body.
We're here for you, everybody.
I also love that there were multiple sin removals from different people about the line of the guy who laughs creepily. And he's just like, oh, this is just how I laugh. And I thought that was really, really funny because those were kind of coming in.
This is how I laugh. I love that. Also, I forgot to mention this, but he is, people went crazy when we saw him, understandably, because he is an alien that was first introduced in the original series, the animated series. I've completely forgotten the name of his species. He's an Edosian called Arix. And yeah, he has 3 arms. And the fun thing about the animated series is they were like, we can draw whatever we want. So we're going to have a cat and a man with 3 arms. And they're going to be the new crew members that are aboard the ship. Because you can draw whatever you want. You're not limited. So they actually put aliens on the fucking Enterprise. So yeah, it was a nice callback to have another Edosian, which is fun.
Amazing. Is genetic engineering illegal? Speaking of Tendi and
good
toiletry.
Question.
Because the chat seems, Wandering seems
eugenics.
to think so. Wandering says genetic engineering is hugely illegal, but there's no repercussions for Tendi doing it.
It's hugely illegal on humans. Like there's a huge ban on eugenics and genetic engineering in humans. I don't know about Sykes experiments. I think it should extend to dogs and animals as well. Like you're creating especially this one, because this one can talk and can reason. So this is a sentient being. So yes, I actually think this is super duper illegal.
Then the dog is now like this sentient being.
Yeah.
It's going to come back, right? If they bring Badgie back and not this crazy dog that can reorganize itself and become other things. So wild.
Amazing.
It's like Data making lol. Eel?
Lol.
Lol.
Data made another android. So that's different. I think robots are different to splicing the genome and whatnot. I'm not saying it should be different, but it is in Star Trek.
What about Moopsie versus the dog? We haven't done this for a while. Every single day that we do a show, there is the Moopsie versus moment.
I mean,
so what do you think?
The dog
Moopsie
wins
versus dog.
The dog turns into a cube and then squashes Moopsie.
Yeah, the dog is winning. This thing is...
The dog just flies out of reach.
It has...
For a little while. Fires
lasers.
Lightning. Yeah.
Has... It could turn its eyeballs into bats. Hello.
Yeah. Right?
It might not even have bones. We don't know.
Just rolls his eyes back and opens his mouth.
It's so scary.
Not a dog, not a dog.
It is so unsettling.
So great. Not a normal dog.
I think that's it for what I've got.
Okay, well, thank you for listening, everyone. I do enjoy that episode. Next week, we will be covering Season 1, Episode 8, Veritas. 3 episodes left, Ambassador. 8, 9, and 10. We're going to the end of Lower Decks. Are you excited?
Yay!
We're at the end of the season.
Woo!
Things ramp up. Or do they? Bah! Until next week, it's who has multiple protein bonds? You do, from me.
And it's, you're a freak. I know. I just didn't want you to worry from me.
Live long and Podspur. I got to splice in the emails and stuff. If you want to reach out to the show, send us a lovely email to captainspod@cinemasins.com. We love reading your emails. And join our lovely Captain's Pod Star Trek community on the CinemaSins Discord, discord.gg/CinemaSins, and join the Captain's Pod channel where we talk about Star Trek and we do spoilery stuff, and they're lovely people. And splice.
Good job. You did it.
Let's do it. Oh my gosh.
Is that it? Did we do it?
We did the show.
Woo! Woo! Okay, I got to find some background music. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to spend some time doing that while you jump in the chats and say hi.
Yeah. We're going to... Wait.
What?
Wait, can you not hear that? Oh, there we go. We've got this for now until Danae finds... I mean, unless you just want a ton of, like, torpedoes.
I mean, I can do...
I love that phaser so much. Oh my goodness. Oh, so much.
Sci-Fi Boney, did you ever listen to the podcast Mr. Blastoff? Because they would end the show with, "Welp, that's been podcast." Fire everything right.
Fire everything.
I just push all my buttons.
Oh, I actually can fire everything.
What do you mean?
I can do multiple.
Oh, gosh.
Beam us out of here.
Question for the chat. Is "stop being a wimp, Doug" a thing middle schoolers say, or is my daughter's new friend weird?
I think that's a reference to Doug, the cartoon. However, if you're
Doug
daughter,
from the 90s, Doug?
That's what I'm saying. If your daughter's friend is referencing Doug from the 90s, like, mad props, like, respect. But I'm pretty sure.
Is that the only Doug you can think of? Because there's also a dog named Doug and Up. So, which is...
Yeah, but I don't think that dog is a wimp, though. Doug was a wimp. Like, I have a memory of one of his friends possibly saying that. I mean, I don't know.
Do you think they're saying "stop being a limp dog" and not saying Doug? This is what our life should be like.
Yeah. Oh, they're calling her dog.
They're calling her a dog?
No, as in, like, "What's up, dog?" Like, don't be a wimp dog.
Could you hear that?
No.
Okay.
But like Doug, I love that. I love that show. Doug, 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 Doug.
There's
was that the theme tune?
it close. Wait, nope, that's
No,
not it.
that's Mario. That's Super Mario.
Wait, here it comes.
No, that's different. Damn it, Ian, I just got that song out of my head in 2019. I'm sorry.
That's right.
You
should go look it up. You should just go look it up, man. There's no reason not to, right?
Hang on.
This is going to be part of the show, is just us trying to remember
really
things. You had a professor that worked on Doug. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, ow. That's amazing.
That'd be so fun to be able to say that you worked on a project like that. I just think that there's so much in those. We're grooving now. Yeah, Polly. It's time. See if I can find.
I'm gonna try and find.
I'm gonna try to find something that has space in it. You nailed the song, says Nick.
Yes,
ooh, Rugrats theme is next. I was doing the Disney version. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Oh, that's really loud.
And that's good. I asked for music. Oh no. Is this jazz? You're so happy right now. You're so happy.
That. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Mainly because I pulled that up on my phone and put it through my board, which is fucking cool. But yeah, that's amazing.
I've got some sound effects here. I'm looking for something that's kind of like got a nice little background vibe to it. And instead I'm finding a whole bunch of like space noises.
Of course.
Oh, this is Rugrats, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's definitely not jazz. I forget how slow it was. It's so nice. Everything it's now great. Seems so fast paced. Do you know what I mean? Okay, I've got some options I'm going to try out for you guys.
To it as well.
Oh, look at that.
Baba.
Baba. All right, I'm going to add this to my deck, and then I want to see if these are going to be any good. Let's take a look here. So if I do this one, I think I can get this to work. Are you okay?
Build up the it's such a fuck you noise.
Okay, and then this one will be this one. I think this will work.
Oh, David, I love it. I collected a ton of TNG phasers, photon torpedoes, and other battle sounds for the first 60 seconds of 359. Spent days and days editing the space battle. Yes, you did, sir. I love it. I love that. I would just overlay. I would use I'd be terrible at it. It would be so many noises. So many.
Okay, here's a. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I'm considering for a background music.
Okay.
And we need to find Rocco's Modern Life next.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. Gotta please the chat. So this is potential background music. You don't hear anything?
Wait. That's weird.
Do you not?
I do.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so maybe it's just really, really, really soft. Yeah, it's meant to be like just something in the background. Ooh.
I think it's a bit too slow.
Too slow? Are we all falling asleep?
I think it's like...
Oh, guys, it's nap time.
Billions of years ago, the universe was nothing but dust and particle.
That's right.
Until the Big Bang happened. Sorry.
I killed mine knowing you're going to say. Okay, here's another one.
Bit loud, I think.
I know it's loud, but just I can turn that down. But we're testing. Is this more?
Still not enough.
But you don't like if it's just on in the background like this, then you don't really want it to be
I guess that's okay.
distracting. Thank you, Lee.
Can we just play the warp core in the background?
We could, but then you would fall asleep.
I would. It's my white noise.
It sounds like something you hear. Oh, that's not good. I mean, massages are good.
That's it. That's it.
We don't want. No. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a healing thing. Yeah.
Just play Star Trek music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very calming. Okay. Okay.
Calming.
I'll keep looking.
All right. I've got. Let's get a bit upbeat. I've got this now. I think this is Rocko's Modern Life. Yeah.
Rocko's Modern Life.
Wow, guys, this is for you.
Modern Life. Rocko's Modern Life. This thing goes on for 3 minutes. That's enough of that.
Yeah, that's a lot. What are these?
What's what?
All of these things that I've got access to. There's one that's called like a space horror. Should we try the space horror one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming to our live show where we're just
experimenting with you.
We're just experimenting today. Okay, this is called Sick and Twisted Space Horror.
Oh my God, we're not ready for that.
I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
We're not doing Freebird.
Slab. It's definitely got the dark undertone.
This is not what we want. No.
Right along with that fucking weird dog face. Man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying, sci-fi. It feels more like you're not getting a massage than if you are. You're in the wrong place.
It's your last ever massage.
Okay, I mean it's not terrible, but it's definitely a mood.
It's not right. I think I've got the right theme here.
I wonder where, like, does it kick off? There's still 3 minutes of this thing to go. Who knows where it's going to lead?
I don't want it.
Space horror. So the theme song for Discovery. Good one, Katrar.
Okay, I'm done with this one. I don't like it. It's making me uneasy.
Oh, we got the. Okay, all right, fine. It obviously it's doing the right thing if it's making you that uncomfortable.
It's definitely right.
Mm-hmm. Do you have another one? What is this?
This is the theme from The Inner Light, which is a beautiful episode of Star Trek.
I remember this.
It's actually in 2 episodes.
Wow. Look at everybody so happy. Oh. But it's making people sad. Stop it.
Oh yeah, no, this is heartbreaking.
Stop it. So sad. Quit it. Okay, we'll do this one. This one was called... Oh. Okay. What was this one? Space. What was it called? What do you think of this one?
It's not our show at all, but I love it.
To the other side. This other space. So it just had the word space in it.
Yeah, that's the one. We should do that. That's the one.
That's the one.
Oh,
what do you mean that's the one? Is that actually the one you want?
No, it's not.
All right. It makes me sad, you know. How about this one? Ooh. That's kind of spacey.
Okay, that could be it.
Okay.
Oh, shush. Stop. Too many things going on.
Just Space Jam. Polly's onto something here.
I like that.
Just Space Jam.
Welcome to the dam. Slam. This is
Come
getting
on,
there.
Sci-fi's into it.
Okay, I've got one. I got one of those.
This isn't bad.
This is pretty good. I like this.
It did. Yeah, I can hear that. Yeah. I'll check my phone, make sure that everybody's doing good. I like this one.
I like this one.
Okay.
Just bring it down a little bit, maybe?
Yeah. I've got it up higher because I want people to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the background. This is what it would feel like in the background as we talk. Just something like that's just happening.
I like that.
A little
Yeah,
percolation.
I like that. Yeah. Cover up all of our many hours of dead air.
I just like to have something happening.
Yeah, agreed.
That feels
100%.
like there's some momentum.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely don't mind some shows where there's not a lot. Like,
yeah.
Like for example, if you guys go over and watched Moko Maid, like they're working for 8 hours, so
yeah,
there's not always music going on there, but they're constantly talking back and forth. So,
what if we had I put the warp core engine noise behind it as well? If I could get the beats per minute to line up and just get a thwum thwum.
I feel like we'd fall asleep.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. But this would wake us up.
But we could play this and then I could simultaneously play the warp core sound. Like it's not like we have to put it on to
That's true.
We could just kind of add it in. Like for example, right now I could do this.
This occasional sound effect.
That's us going. This is a door opening. This is the door closing.
Yeah.
So I think it still works with the music.
Yeah, I like that.
Which warp core though, Ian?
It's fair. I mean, it's the TNG warp core for sure. Yeah, without a doubt. Or the original series. Beep beep.
The music that makes me the saddest from Star Trek is definitely The Offspring.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's super sad.
Should we just stop thinking about sad things now?
I would love that.
Okay. What is this?
This will wake us up.
Life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. Not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. Captain.
You have to teach this to Iris. Across the universe, on the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk.
dead, Jim, dead, Jim, dead. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it. Captain.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, Jim.
Starship Captain James T.
We come in peace, shoot to kill.
Shoot to kill, shoot to kill. We come in peace, shoot to kill, man.
It's worse than that, he's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. It's worse than that, he's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead.
Well, it's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, Captain.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow. Scrape them off, Jim.
Star trekking across the universe.
On the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk.
Star trekking across the universe.
Only going forward and things are getting worse.
It's just that.
You cannot change the laws of physics. Laws of physics. Laws of physics. You cannot change the laws of physics. Laws of physics, Jim.
Oh, we come in peace, shoot to kill, shoot to kill, shoot to kill. We come in peace, shoot to kill. Scotty, beam me up.
It's worse than that, he's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. It's worse than that, he's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead.
Well, it's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, Captain.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow.
You cannot change the script, Jim.
It's okay. We're done now.
Is that it?
That's it. We're done. And then the ship blows up. There's a whole video with potatoes that goes along with it.
Potatoes, of course. Yes.
Yeah. Wouldn't there be? It's worse than that. It's physics, Jim.
Listen, I'm not gonna hate on anybody for liking that. I would play Badgers, 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 Badgers on repeat.
Mushroom, mushroom.
If you watch the stream in 4K, you can see the light swimming. Oh no!
Life
Do you know what I'm talking about? The Badgers, mushrooms,
dum.
mushrooms.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
not yet.
Badgers,
Of course,
badgers, badgers,
you
badgers,
can't say of
mushroom,
course. Not everyone knows
mushrooms.
what that is. Snake! It's a snake! Oh no! It's a snake! Listen, this is why I can't shame anyone for liking that song, because
Yes,
there's just
exactly.
some things that are just so silly. Danae has a look that my wife gives when I talk about a game she doesn't play. Yeah. Or the Potter Weasley thing. That's very, very similar.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Dumbledore.
we're out to Slab. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us, for being
We love
part
you
of the
guys.
show. We will see you next week for another live taping of Captain's Pod. And then, of course, you can watch Recotopia.
Yeah,
We are still just creating all of the content that we hope you guys like so much on Cinema Sins and TV Sins and Commercial Sins, and of course the podcast that we do, and more projects that are in the works from the individuals that create the show. We'll keep you guys updated on all the things that we have going on, not only in Cinema Sins world, but in the creative world of those that are around us. If you want to join Discord and be a part of the group of people that help to just monitor our channels and jump in on all the shows, essentially the fan heartbeat of what we do, you can find that at discord.gg/cinemasins, or if you're on Twitch, you should be able to put an ! Discord for the link there. And I think that's everything. We really love you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
we will indeed. We'll be here.
Bye.